G'day guys, Steve with Broken Sprocket. In this video I'll be replacing the steering arm on my Toyota Hilux. Last weekend I went a little bit hard on it and probably took on more than I probably should, and ended up bending the steering arm, and in the process of trying to get it out of the bush so that I could get it to where a tow truck could pick it up, I ended up then snapping the tie rod end. So it was quite difficult to get out of the bush with both wheels pointing forward towards each other. And we eventually got there and got it on a tow truck, and now I have it home. I've ordered a full kit to do both of my steering ends. And so yeah, we'll get that done. Firstly, I've just jacked it up and put the car on some good solid jack stands to make it nice and safe. And if you ever have this trouble with your vehicle, it's a quite easy fix. So hopefully this video will help you out if you were ever in the same situation. So let's get started. Got myself a new toy here, the Milwaukee rattle gun. Now that the wheel's off, you can see the tie rod end has popped straight off. That wasn't off at first, it was just bent, and then dragging it out of the bush it eventually popped. But we need to take this boot off to get access to the steering arms bolt-on section. We also need to remove this tie rod end, and we want to get the measurement pretty close to where it actually is, so that when we put the new one on we can get it pretty close, and then that way the car's drivable, so I can take it down to get a wheel alignment after it's all installed. Oh, that was tight. Okay, I don't want to move the actual tie rod end, I just want to get this nut out of the way, and I'll show you why. Alright, in order to get the tie rod end pretty close on the arm to where it was, there's two ways to do it. You can wind it back and count each turn, and however many turns it is, you wind it back on. I'm also going to add a little bit of black spray paint on there, and I can take a measurement and do a measurement too to make sure that it's pretty close to where it was, so that way I can drive it down to get it wheel aligned after it's all completed. So now that I have paint there, I can make a measurement from where the thread is to where the paint is, and I'll get that exactly on the other one too. I'm also going to count how many turns this will do as I take it off. 1, 2, 15. Okay, I've got roughly 15 turns off, but I've got the black paint edge there, and I can take a proper measurement and get it pretty much exactly where it used to be. Now to get this rubber off, I need to remove this nut. 25 millimeters is where I want the next one. I'm also going to remove my bash tray from underneath here so that I can get easier access to it. My other new toy, 3/8 drive ratchet from Milwaukee. Now just slide this boot off. A little bit tricky because I got to go around a bent corner. There's two metal locking tabs here that you need to bend straight, and then you turn this off. Okay, a big shifter or something might be able to grab a hold of it. If you can't get the shifter, try a big set of Stilsons and just grab this and unwind it. Okay, so this is the new one here, so what you basically got to do is just unwind it. So if you don't have a tool that can fit on this edge here, just grab a good set of Stilsons and just unwind it. It should come out relatively easy. Yeah, with the locking tab there, I was unable to grab it with the multi-grips plier thing, so this is working quite good. Once it's loose, it's fairly easy to come off. And here is the locking tab. It also looks as though they've used some sort of a Loctite on this thread as well. Looking at both of them, I've really done a good job on this one here. Not only is it bent here, but it's also bent, I don't know if the camera will show, but it's bent around where the joint is as well. So I've really done a good job on this one. I've noticed that the new locking nut isn't a locking nut because it's not big enough. It's not as big as that one to go around and actually lock it. It looks like it's more of a spring type one, and as the pressure comes on, it works sort of like a spring washer would. So yeah, this one's a little bit different, but not to matter. Just a little bit of thread lock on this as I go take it in. She'll be beautiful. Alright, that's on tight now. I'm actually keeping the old boot on. This plastic is really hard and almost feels brittle, whereas this is more of a rubber, so I'm going to keep the factory boot on it. It feels much better than this. This feels, I don't know, almost like Lego. It's kind of a bit hard. This one here is a lot nicer, a piece of rubber. Now with the steering arm installed, I need to remove the rest of this tie rod end. Now if I mark it up 25mm, which is what the old one was at. So if I wind this new tie rod end up to this mark here, also counting how many turns that I do, it should be pretty close to where it was before. Decided to use the original nut, as you see this one here is quite shallow, and as it goes down, the hole for the cotter pin is actually sitting above the castle nut, so it wouldn't actually do anything. So this original bolt's much longer, so when you tighten it, the cotter pin will still actually work. Okay, so that's it. I've just got to put the rest of this side back together, put the wheel on, put it on the ground, but firstly I'm going to do the other side because it's a full kit, so I'm going to make sure the whole thing's new, so when it gets wheel aligned, everything will be good. The only things in the kit I won't use is this castle nut here. It's just too shallow compared to the original one, and the cotter pin sits above it and won't actually do anything. And these rubber boots, they're not really rubbery, they're more of a plastic, so the original ones are definitely much more malleable and feel much better than these ones, so I stuck with the original rubbers. So if you like this kind of thing, consider subscribing, and you can also check Broken Sprocket out on Instagram. So see you next time.